Good afternoon. Miguel Castillo and Rosemarie Garay, we present this issue related to the definition of criteria and standard for the protection of homes in urban forest interface areas. We are academics from the University of Chile, and this brief presentation summarizes the results of a project that has been completed on standards for risk mitigation and proposed actions for the protection of populated areas under hazard of wildfires. Well, in a similar way to other countries with forest cover and Mediterranean climate, Chile has a history of fire associated with the contact of wooded areas with built-up areas. Statistics indicate that it's a growing trend, even many years before the first proven evidence about the effects of climatic change was related to the effects of forest fires. This figure shows the distribution of forest fires in Chile in different territories from the north to south. Well, the occurrence of fires is concentrated in the central region where the Mediterranean climate is more strongly expressed. That is a prolonged period of drought in summer, high temperatures, and consequently high probabilities for the initiation of fires. In Chile, the main cause of forest fires are due to human activity, and in particular with a high intentional component. Other relevant causes are associated with the irresponsible use of fire and also with activity near populated areas. The Valparaiso region is indicated in the box. This area concentrates approximately 60% of the fires in the area called urban forest interface. In Chile, 6,200 fires occur annually. This is an example correspond to the 2018-2019 season. In this case, the research area corresponds to the central region of Chile, where there is a high number of forest fires located with built-up areas and very close to important population centers. In the first diagnosis, a zoning of the risk and hazard of forest fires was carried out through field work and multi-criteria analysis with the communities that inhabit this region. Then the location of homeless areas of high risk of forest fires remains an unresolved problem. Many more small fires, for example, near areas with dense vegetation, cause violent advance of fire because, among other factors, there is the wind. This is a case of what happens in the coastal zone of Chile. In recent years, for example, not only fires have increased, but also those that affect a large number of houses and buildings. In fact, the amount of damaged homes has caused many areas near forests to have to be intervened by managing the combustible vegetation and working permanently with neighbors and communities that coexist in these areas. This is a problem that occurs in different inhabited areas in central and southern Chile. This map is an example of the extensive fires that occurred in 2017 in Chile. So the risk of forest fire is related to the spatial behavior of the fire density, the location, and also to activities that cause the initial ignition of combustible material. In this study, we analyzed the problem of forest fire in areas with irregular presence of building inside areas with forest, and also the condition to exposure to the spread of fire in house and other built areas that are part of the inhabited structure. For example, we analyze the commune of San José de Maipo, Chile, located in the metropolitan of Central Region. We call it population data, fire statistics, construction regulation, for example, current legislation, interviews, a series of workshops with the communities, and in general, an extensive information network from 2000 to 2019. Then, the central objective was to establish the special condition of risk and vulnerability to the impact of wildfires in areas of wildland-urban interface. After this analysis, we evaluate the areas with the greater presence of housing forests and analyze the main construction standard necessary for revision in constructed areas, as well as the characteristic of protection and defense against fire for different construction categories, for example, houses, schools, hospitals, collection centers, and in general, all kinds of critical infrastructure that performs functions of defense and protection against catastrophes. On this map, a group of buildings are identified within areas classified has the first priority of protection. They are the areas highlighted in the red color in this example. The main result showed that a correct adaptation of international standards in construction are perfectly applicable for new construction projects in areas of urban-forest interface. Regarding existing construction, proposals are made to improve the immediate environment to the areas with the greatest vulnerability. For this last objective, the map of determination of priorities for protection against forest fires was used, especially prepared for this study. It is a pilot experience in Chile, new in this execution, and based on the results of the funded project on protection and defense of buildings against wildfires in areas of wildland urban interface. This photograph shows a house located in an area with a high load of highly flammable vegetation. It corresponds to a very common situation in Chile, which causes high level of forest fire hazard. Well, considering these technical actions for the participation of different community representatives, it was possible to agree on a methodology to determine the level of vulnerability of 22 localities within the commune using a multi-criteria analysis expressed in an Excel application. The main work was the identification of different types of critical infrastructure that can provide a role of attention in emergencies derived from the presence of forest fire. This analysis was especially important due to the difficulty to access to remote areas and the scarcity of asphalt roads for the transit of emergency vehicles. This impact corresponds to the state of the infrastructure, thus was also analyzed to estimate response times in the face of the first arrival of resources to firefighting. For example, here we can see one of the screens that offers a menu of options for entering the infrastructure, their location, and the state of compliance with regulation for the construction and operation. In general, a first analysis showed that a large part of this building do not comply with the minimum protection standards, in which it was necessary to complement the regulation with international standards that were previously adapted to the reality of Chile and its buildings. Well, this is an example of borrowing the territories against the danger of forest fires. It's built using the criteria indicated above and constitute the basis of identifying those areas with the presence of house and other structures that present problems of difficulty to access for the entry of vehicles for emergency care. In these areas, normally the first attack against forest fire is carried out by airplanes or helicopters as a first response while waiting for the arrival of last resource. Well, as a general conclusion of this research, it was the proposal of a territorial model adapted to the reality of a specific municipality, but that is its methodology is perfectly applicable to other territories. The key to success is planning is the participation of the communities that live in this type of areas. Here are some links to information related to the research. And this is our investigation. Thank you very much.